So the lenses come off our edgers, they're sized down to fit your frame, and they come over to our tinting station. Here's where we're going to add the filter to the lens. The process by which we do this is we take water, we add a dye to it, whether that dye is a powder or a liquid, and then we heat the water up to almost about a boil. And then, kind of similar to the way you dye eggs at Easter, we dip the lens in and let it sit. So if you remember when we were talking about coating and the reason we applied a tintable backside coating, the coating itself is what absorbs the bulk of the dye, and then the lens itself will absorb some of the dye as well. After a set amount of time, we take the lens out of the dye, and the lens has the filter. For different densities or for different light transmissions, we'll either leave it in longer or leave it in for less amount of time. And we're running these checks against a light transmission device to better tell densities and transmissions, to better match what your doctor is asking for. We have a giant library that has hundreds of samples that are in a more controlled environment so that there's no fading of the tint. And we're using these samples to match against the lenses we're sending out. These lenses have specific spectrographs, so curves that the colors are following for how much light and how much color in specific wavelengths that they're taking out. And that's what we're looking to match. Tinting itself can either be easy or can be a bit more complex. So for some colors like blue or FL, it's one dye. You stick it in the pot, you take it out after a set amount of time, and you're good to go. There are other colors, however, that are a bit more complex and take 2, 3, or more dyes, and we have to mix them in specific quantities in order to match the final color. So something like No IR 8, which is a very deep green color, takes yellow, it takes green, it takes a couple different colors in order to match that very vibrant green color. At the end of the process, we're double checking colors, not only against a light transmission device to make sure we're matching everything, but we're also holding it up against various light sources like in outside sunlight to make sure it's going to match against what the perception of light is when they're outdoors, but also indoor light against fluorescent bulbs just to make sure that color perception is matching across different types of light sources. And that's how you tint lenses, and we're going to move on to AR in our next video.